Hello guys, I hope y'all are doing well today. Today I wanted to make a follow-up video on my setup on VSCode, but this one will be specific for the extensions that I use. You can see the previous video, I think here or here, to watch what is my font, how I set up my, for example, Browsersync, live server, and anything in that regard. So yeah, today we'll be going over the extensions that I have. So to start, let's make a quick recap on the themes that I use. The one that I'm using right now is called AO. It makes, let me show you here right quick. For example, a homepage. Like the contrast is very good. I can read and easily find what I'm looking for in the code. What I don't fully like is this italic type of text, since it may be confusing on tutorials and actual learning, but I really like it. The other one that I was using was Andromeda. This one has a brighter background, but it has poppy, nice looking colors too, which these are the two themes that I'm switching on, but I'm actually using AU way more than Andromeda lately. So yeah, those are the two themes that I'm currently using. So the first thing before showing you actual extensions is what I use to view my files. Let me take down this terminal. And many people, like all of the people I've seen honestly, like to use live server, and it's pretty good. It's okay, but if I'm being honest, I prefer Browsersync.io. I think it's way better. It lets you do way more than live server. You can actually set up a link, a local host, a 192 private server, so you can watch your page on your phone. So yeah, let me show you how this works. So here, as you can see, I have a Notion page, which are just two steps. First, what you want to do is, go to the Browsersync page. Yeah, get here, and then run this command on your terminal. Let's open it here and copy and paste. And it's starting to download. I already have it downloaded, so maybe it will give me an error. But it doesn't matter. And as you can see, it quickly installed the project. I don't think this is too important to see, but for example, here I'm not working with Beat or Create React App. I, for example, just have an index HTML, and this type of projects you can't do. For example, npm run dep. I will give you an error because there is no such thing as a package.json and so and so. So what I will do is copy this exact command, which let me show you what it shows. As soon as I copy the command, which is browsersync -sync start -server -directory -files, and a quote thingy, let me hit enter. And then here, as you can see on the terminal, it gave me a local host and then an external host, which I can put on my phone that is connected to the same network, and I'll be able to see the changes directly on my phone, which is super useful. And this specific code is to make a server for the external thingy and make this directory. Now I click index HTML, and then it opened the page that I wanted, that I have on the HTML. So yeah, that is how Browsersync works. I'll leave you the commands and the link below in the description if you want to check it out. The next one I wanted to show you is a crucial one. I don't know why Microsoft hasn't implemented this function as well. The thing is, there is a feature, there is a setting within VSCode to make this work, but it only works for HTML. It doesn't work for JSX, XML, and anything in that regard. What this lets you do is basically, if you want to change this H1 to a paragraph, you will only click P, and then it will automatically change this closing tag, which is super useful. Nonsensical that Microsoft hasn't implemented this fully, but yeah, this is a super useful, extremely necessary extension if you're a front-end developer. The next one I wanted to show you was better comments. This one is, as you can see, just better comments, actually, way more readable. For example, if I wanted to say don't right below here, it will highlight it in red as soon as it checks for this like admiration mark. And for example, another one that I use a lot is the to do one. Here we'll write to do, and then it will set it on orange. So I don't know, let's remove this component. So now when you're browsing through code, you can see the comments way better than if they were, for example, I don't know, don't click here, which is barely visible on this specific theme. But yeah, as you can see, it's way better. It's way more readable, way easier to understand the code and to see it quicker, to recognize it. So yeah, this is a no-brainer one too. This next one is a very good one if you are a front-end developer, which is CSS Peek. What this will let you do is allow, like it says, allow to peeking to CSS ID and class string as definition from HTML files to the respective CSS. For example, if we wanted to check what this class does, what I can do with this extension is hit Ctrl on your keyboard, and it will give you this like underline thing to check. Then I'll click it, and then it gave me this window which shows, so here's the class name. Well, since this is an SCSS, it shows like a variable, but essentially it's just connecting to this JavaScript color which is given this FO thing. So yeah, that is basically what it does. I think it checks on IDs. You can tap Control, or you can hold Control and then click it, and then you will see what it does exactly on the CSS part. So yeah, super useful one. The next one is error lens. I absolutely love this one because it lets me see errors way quicker than vanilla VSCode. For example, if I were to delete this, it will give me on the code exactly what is expected or what is the error with the code. Because before, without this extension, we will have to hover over and it will say, oh, I need to close this tag. So then I will just close it. And this works with everything, I think. Let's, for example, take this cons. Yeah, as you can see, unknown keyword or identifier. Do you mean const? And I can just see this extremely quick and not having to hover over every time I have an error. So yeah, it's a super useful extension, which actually makes VSCode look better too. So yeah, it's very good too. So this next one is super useful if you want to be a quick programmer, if you want to really get good at programming, mainly on React actually, because this only works on React, Redux, and React Native. But what it essentially does, let's say we want to create a new component. Let's say, I don't know, it's homes, for example, .jsx. We created the file, and rather than doing the whole function, I don't know, homes, the best snippet or the snippet that I use the most is RFC. As you can see, it is saying React functional component, and what it will do is you can just click it and it will create a whole function that is exported already, that is default, that it even has the import React added to. So yeah, this is a super useful one if you want to, or if you're a React developer, this is like necessary actually. So yeah, this is another very good extension. So here, the next one, you should have these ones just installed as base, as a base on VSCode if you're a front-end developer, which is ESLint, which what this will basically do is catch more errors and make sure that when you're writing JavaScript, everything is checked and everything is working. So it'll basically give you more errors on the little things you may, well, vanilla VSCode may not show. So yeah, and this HTMLLint is the same, but for HTML. The best example that I can give you at the moment is this one, which source needs to be double quoted. But let's say we forgot to double quote it and it's just one quote. This orange type of error comes from directly comes from HTMLHint, which will tell me the value of attribute src must be in double quotes. So yeah, as you can see, we can fix it, and there we go. It's solved, and we were able to quickly catch up onto the issue rather than debugging and looking at the console and all of that tedious process that we may have to do sometimes, but this makes it way easier if we're working with JavaScript and HTML. So this next one is Git Graph. This one I'd rather use 1,000 times more than the regular Git Lens, I think it is called. Yeah, Git Lens. I really didn't like this one. Actually, I don't know what it was, but I remember being a little bit tedious. Thus, I decided to install Git Graph, which what it does. For example, this project that I have on GitHub, there is a small text on the bottom left of the screen, which you can see Git Graph. Let's click it, and then it will give me all of this, which may seem overwhelming at first when you look at it, but if you start looking at the things that there is, it's super simple. For example, yesterday I did a lot of commits, but for example, I wanted to see what Fred did. You can see the author here. I want to see what Fred did at 43 a.m. No, 12:43 a.m. Yeah, and you will just click it and then see, oh, he deleted, well, as you can see, 135 deletions, but 11 plus additions. Let's see what he did. Oh, on this red part, you can see all that was deleted from this specific commit, and on the right side you can see what was added. So yesterday I deleted all of this, and it will highlight it on red, and then we can see it on the right what he or I added on this specific commit, and it's super useful. You can quickly see everything. You can quickly see the date, the author, the specific text that the specific description of the submit, by having just a quick glance at this link, which it says Git Graph, and it's just super useful. I prefer it way more than Git Lens. I think this is way more organized, way better to see, way easier to look at, and even as you can see here, author, committer, parent, the description, the extended description. You can see, I don't know if someone did a very big change, you can see all of the text completely. So yeah, I absolutely love this extension. So yeah. So this next one is called highlight matching tag. This is one that I use. It's not really that necessary actually. It is very customizable. What it will essentially do is, if for example you want to see when this row ends, you can see right beside the div there is a little underline which highlights the div, so we can go below and we can see that this one is highlighted too. So this and this are the rows because we see the underline highlight which is in yellow. So yeah, just a quick one, very useful one. Yeah. So this next one, sometimes it does work and sometimes it doesn't. As you can see, it's very faint. It's an indentation with the color rainbow. As you can see, there is yellow here, there is green here, I think there is pink here, but it's basically like a pyramid. You can see it on the left. Let's for example say we wanted to disable it, so we don't have anything on the left, like it's just like dark. Basically it's just the background. So now if we wanted to activate it back, let me find it first. Oh, here it is, enable, and we can see again the background of this elements on quite a rainbow color. So yeah, it's a nice one to have to make sure you know, oh, so this is a whole object, so there is a space here and then we have another object. So it's a very good one to quickly look at code. So this next one I'll make a separate video because setting this up quickly, it may be sometimes a pain in the ass. What I actually do with this one, I don't get it to watch my CSS. As you can see on the top right bottom, it's a little bit faint due to the very dark theme, but it says watching, which is watching my Sass, and I set it up so that it watches as soon as VSCode is fired. This is due to the fact that I use Sass on almost every project that I do. I really like Sass. You can implement it with post CSS and else, so it's super useful to have, and this is, I feel like, the perfect extension to use if you're using Sass. So yeah, if it doesn't work, don't worry, I'll try getting a video as soon as possible to make sure you have this set up correctly and with all the features in a quick manner and simple way to make sure it's set up correctly. So yeah. So the next one I wanted to show you was Prettier, which takes a little bit of setup. I'll make a separate video, which I'm intending to make it very quick because it's not that difficult to make it work. But usually when you install it, you will see that it won't work. So yeah, if it doesn't work for you as soon as you install it, let me show you what it does. Let me show you its behavior. Let's say that we are doing this and I'm deleting this. This all looks very good, but I'm now making it a mess. Fuck, I deleted something off the page. And yeah, I deleted it too. Damn. For example, let's say that we have it here like this, which is it looks very messy. It doesn't look nice. Here, and let's get this div. Let's get all of these divs close together. And as you can see, this looks horrendous. This looks unreadable. So what Prettier does is, as soon as you save this file, everything will get formatted in the best way, the best looking way. And let's see, Control S, and everything went back to looking pretty nice actually. So yeah, this is what Prettier does. But if it doesn't work right away, I'll make a separate video, which will be a quick one, so you can set it up quickly. So don't worry. But yeah, this is a no-brainer when it comes to extensions. So this next one is for people that I use Sass. It works very well. Well, it works extremely well with the previous Sass extension that I shared with you. What it will do is give you like hints. As you can see here, it will give you indented Sass, syntax highlighting, autocomplete, and a formatter for VSCode. For example, let me show you on this color palette SCSS file what it does. Let's say I'm going to create a variable called sky, and then it will be color, I don't know, let's say this will make it color like black. So let's say we want to declare a sky color, and then what it will do here, which will put color, and if we put the $sign, now here, there it works. We'll hit double thingy and then the $. Then we'll be able to see all the variables that we have written, and there you can see a sky. So we'll put sky here, and there we go. So this output came from the styles.css SCSS extension that I had installed, which is watching always. But yeah, that is what it basically does. It will give you highlighting text, formatting, and everything in that regard. So it's very useful if you use Sass. So yeah, that's another one. So here, to be finishing the video, I think I have 3 more extensions. The autocomplete that I use is Tabnine. I feel like it's the most secure one. I heard about another autocomplete AI that was like spying on code, basically some negative stuff. But what this one will do is exactly what it says, which is autocomplete. Let's say we wanted to create a function, and there you can see it. As a suggestion, it is showing the text show in gray. So let's hit tab, and then it will create it. That is Tabnine autocomplete. And let's close the function, and then it gave me a curly bracelet or bracket, and we'll hit tab, and then it will open, and then we'll close it. And then let's say, for example, we wanted to console log something. Oh, and then here it suggested me to create a const, which is visible at useBlink, which is a separate function. But what it will essentially do, which is when you're writing code, it will give you suggestions. For example, I wanted to make a show function, and then here let's log something out, console.log, close everything, and let's say yay, for example. And as you can see, all the hard tabs were the actual tab, which is what it makes it autocomplete. So yeah, it's a very useful one to write code even quicker. So the next one is called Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. This one is what it says, which is an IntelliSense for Tailwind CSS. And let me show you what it does. For example, on this project that I have, which is using Tailwind, that it has Tailwind installed. As you can see here, Tailwind config. I think this will only work with Tailwind config, and so like having it installed on the node modules. If this seems a little bit complicated, I'll make a Tailwind video in the future, so you can see how to set it up and everything that you may require. But yeah, for example, let's say we wanted to change this PG grade 900, and let's say I want an orange background, but I don't know which grade of orange I want. So let's say PG, and there, this window is basically the extension. Let's say I wanted orange, and here it gave me all the spectrums of orange I will want. So let's say, oh, this orange looks nice. Let's select this 400, and there we have it. This basically works for everything. Let's say MD, I don't know, text, center, you know, all of these text and suggestions it is giving me, it comes from this extension directly, which is Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. So yeah, this is a extremely good one if you want to write on Tailwind CSS. And the final one, finally, is the Tree, which is one that I use a lot. Is extremely good actually, and what it will do as soon as you install it is that it will give you this icon on the sidebar which says to-dos. What this will do is look at every file on the folder you have. I think it is excluding node modules and so and so. What I will basically do is check if there is any to-do written on any file that you have on your project, and it will basically lay them out here. And for example, on this navigation bar, I have two to-dos. Let's click this one, and it will take me directly to the to-do section of this project. This is a very good one if, for example, I don't know, here I wanted to write to-do change BG color. So now I'll just save this file, and I don't know, let's say I opened VSCode the next day. I can see, oh, there is a to-do to change the color, to change the background color, and it will take me directly to the section that I wrote the specific to-do. So yeah, this is a very useful one. So there's another to-do on projects data. Let's click it, and it will take me directly to this section in the to-do where it was written, and it's very dynamic. You can quickly have a look. When I get into a project, I will, always click on the to-dos, and I will see, oh, I have this to do, and I have this other thing to do, or maybe I don't have any to-dos. Maybe I can go ahead and go see another project. Actually, the one that I use the most actively, because of course Tabnine and so on is used all of the day, but the one that I actually use like actively, like I check every time, is this To-dos 3 extension, which you can see here. It is this one. So yeah, that was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Here is a quick peek onto what I have as my extensions that we went over, and yeah, that was it. If you want to see more of my settings.json and so on my VSCode and the font that I use, you can check the video I mentioned before about my VSCode setup. But that was all for today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.